this is a very interesting article, and I came across this one today and saw this and was just like, well, is this fear mongering? Is this legitimate? Is this, or is this guy a whack nut, fruitcake like everybody else? Because it's very likely considering the source. But let's read this. Ashton Kutcher in Men's Fitness magazine says he's preparing for Armageddon. Well, I mean, you're fucking Demi Moore, dude. I mean, or were or are or whatever. I mean, goodness gracious, you got a cougar, bro. I mean, if the world ends right now, I mean, it didn't go too bad for you. You can't act. You're not funny. You've really left no really deep mark on the planet, Ashton, because you really haven't contributed much to society as a whole. But yet, you're rich, you're loaded, you're banging Demi Moore. I mean, dude, I don't know what you're worried about Armageddon for, bro. If life ends, if the world ends right now, life was good for you. I mean, goodness gracious. It's just hard, it's just hard for me to take those kind of sensationalist Armageddon into the world things from people who are, knee deep in cougar ass. I mean, maybe that's me. Ashton Kutcher is in hard training for the apocalypse, but this is no big screen role. He's afraid that Armageddon is coming. Speaking to Men's Fitness, Kutcher predicts that the end of days is on its way. And he wants to be prepared for the inevitable madness, he told the magazine. Quote, "It won't take very much, I'm telling you. It will not take much for people to hit the panic button. The amount of convenience that people rely based on electricity alone, you start taking out electricity and satellites, many people are going to lose their noodle." Can't argue with him there. People don't have maps anymore. People use their iPhones or GPS systems. So if there's no electricity, nobody has maps. And what then? The way Kutcher sees it, all chaos breaks. And people are going to go. People are going to go, that land's not yours. Prove that it's yours. And the only thing you have to prove that it's yours is on an electric file. Then it's like, what's the value of currency? And whose food is whose? People's alarm systems at their homes will no longer work. Neither will our heating, our garbage disposals, hot water heaters that run on gas but depend on electricity. What happens when all our modern conveniences fail? I'm going to be ready to take myself and my family to a safe place where they don't have to worry. But he's heading for the hills. So what's a soothsaying star supposed to do when he sees the end of the world? Kutcher is stocking up on guns and spending hours and hours right in the canyons near his home. This is great, man. They've really gotten Jones to get Hollywood all fucking riled up and scared. And they're getting all these rich bozos in Hollywood to fucking buy bug out bunkers and spend all their fucking millions from their shitty movies on buying guns, which helps support the military industrial complex. I got a buddy who's a gun salesman, and he told me he asked me if I could guess what their number one selling gun was right now. And I said, yeah, I guarantee I can guess what your number one selling gun is right now. It's the Blackwater edition pistol, isn't it? And he said, yep, that's our number one seller. Blackwater has now made themselves a brand. And that's exactly what these guys are doing now. That's why they've allowed Jones to get into Hollywood, because Jones has got in there and fearmongered everybody. So he's getting all these ass clowns to spend all their money on the crap that may or may not be needed. I mean, yeah, we know stuff is going to go bad, but the stuff that we're hearing now differs none from the things that have been said for a very long time. It is continuing to get bad. I wouldn't be here trying to do this if it wasn't, but at the same time, where's your average Joe? Do they put your average Joe in a newspaper that, what do they do when you hear about somebody who's heading for the hills and saying that, Armageddon is coming, we're all going to die, so I'm going to buy a bunch of guns and go head up to the mountains? You call those people kooks and crazies and weirdos, don't we? Yeah, when they're Joe Schmo nobody, that's what we call them. But when you're Ashton Kutcher, we just say, oh, yeah, look at Ashton Kutcher. Well, he's interesting. Yeah. Well, they'll send the SWAT team on you if you start hoarding guns, start trying to, head for the hills. It's mind-blowing. It really is mind-blowing. It was kind of mind-blowing for me in the same way that, that whole connection to how they waited until the wintertime when they were supposed to release the new Tron in the summertime, and they coincided that right when WikiLeaks was breaking out. I mean, That's mind blowing as well, especially when you see how deep this is going. But I want to go back and continue on with some of the stuff I was talking about 2010. And me and Lee were kind of doing our 2010 wrap up show the other night. And I never really did get into a lot of things of what I see coming in 2011. I want to talk about that as well. It's amazing how many stories we had this year that were big, huge, gigantic stories. And then they were swept under the rug for whatever the next big, huge story was. And we almost can't remember them all. And it seems that they're doing that more and more on a yearly basis. And it's amazing people can hardly even remember last year, 2009, when swine flu was all the rage and breaking out. People have just completely quit talking about that. It was all you could see in the news for months. But they made their billions, and we were suckers yet again, and now they're on to the next op. They're on to the next scheme. We got to start getting longer memories as a people, folks. We have to start remembering things as they happen. I mean, you know, people, you never hear anybody talk about the Gulf oil disaster anymore. People still act like, you know, because they got on TV and said, you know, it's over, it stopped leaking. People still think that it's over. You know, the Gulf will just go back to normal overnight. We don't have to worry about it. No, it's still fucked up down there, and it's fucked up by design by these goddamn humans. Well, it's debatable whether they're humans or not. Let's just say that. But still, we got to start having longer memories, folks, as a people. That's all I'm saying. And I see more of this stuff coming where, you know, people barely remember things that were happening at the end of the last year. People barely remember, you know, the Fort Hood shootings. You know, you don't hear about that talked about anymore. There's just so many things that happen now that they go down the memory hole. And we've got to start remembering to make a mental note of these things as they happen more and more. And that's why I'm glad we're here with this radio show to document these things that happen in the news every day, so we have a permanent record of that. So that years from now, 100 years from now, 200 years from now, archive.org, somebody can go there. That's what the whole deal of that website is. They're going to maintain that content on whatever the internet is somewhere indefinitely forever, so that coming generations can come and find that information. I'm glad that a great deal of our work is up there and logged on that website. But, you know, some people may go back 100 years from now and listen to a global reality show and realize that, you know, with the hindsight of history, everything that's happened to get them to where they are in their time. That's why all this stuff is so fascinating, is because you see that this has been going on forever. And the things that we experience and we see in our day and age are very much the same as what was happening in the days of old. I mean, there's always been people like us. Whether you know it or not, there's always been people like you and I and all of us out there, because we are not meant for servitude. We are not meant for servitude. And so since we are not meant for servitude, there will always be small subsections of the population that whenever they are beginning to be enslaved will stand up and rise against this tyranny. We've been here before and we'll be here again, all of us. That's the whole trick. But that's what these illuminated fraternities and the Freemasons and the rest, that's what they do. And that's a hell of a thing. You know, it's kind of one of those strange dichotomies that can sort of tear you up inside if you think about them too much. Kind of like the whole transhumanist thing. You know, because any one of us I don't think any one of us, no matter what we believe or how we feel right now, can honestly say what our decision would be if we were, you know, had the opportunity for that. It'd be a hard decision. And that's sort of where we're at now in a different way. But it all comes back to us. It all comes down to us, and we are going to be our own enslavers or our own liberators. It all comes down to us. That's all there is to it. Let me look through this news here and see if there's anything worth covering. I really just don't feel like doing much of this news. I wanted to get up here and wrap up 2010 with you tonight, though. Because it's been a great year. I just again want to thank everybody out there who has supported us and everybody out there who has helped us maintain and stay here on the air. You guys mean the world to us and to me. And we're going to push this thing forward in 2011. It's on. That's all I can say. New film, new time slot. We'll start having guests and phone calls on again. And definitely want to start hearing from more of you guys in the new year and with more phone calls. And, you can always, ideas for topics you want me to talk about, globalrealityshow@gmail.com. You can always send it there. But, yeah, man, this, I just looking at this news and I'm going, man, none of this stuff is even worth covering or talking about. The Kutcher thing was funny to me. There was a 4.2 or a 3.8 magnitude earthquake in the north central part of Indiana today, Kokomo, Indiana. That's very interesting. The UN's taking over cyberspace, blah, blah, blah. You know what? We're still alive and we're still breathing and we're still kicking, and that's all that matters. So let's take this to the next level in 2011. As I talked about last night, the way things are going now with restrictions in Hungary over the internet and free flow of the information in the media, I mean, we may not have a lot of time left. Those of us that exist as a result of doing this type of work and, may be completely out of business a year from now. So let's all enjoy it. Let's enjoy each other, Let's just put all the chips in and throw all the chips into this thing and see what happens and see what we can come up with while we've got it. Because I think we're probably going to see a time where all of this is going to go away and we're going to wish we had it back and wish that we had done more for it while it was with us. Let's not ever, any of us, have that regret. So I'm going all in and pushing all the chips to the table, not like I already did a long time ago. But I'm continuing to reaffirm that belief into 2011. I hope that you will with me as well. And I thank everybody out there for standing beside me in the fight, and everybody standing beside me, and everybody out there that's real. And all the haters who remind me that I'm right over the target and I'm getting the most flight because I'm right over the target. And to everybody out there, my family, my friends, everybody, my bandmates, demigods, everybody out there, I love you all. I truly love you all. We will see you in 2011. Let's take this to the next level, folks. Help us meet the goal if you can at the chip in. We got to get that done so we can pay the bills. And keep it locked here to the Global Reality. We're going to have all kinds of good stuff playing for you all over New Year's weekend, baby, right here on the Global Reality. We'll have some music, we'll have some tunes, we'll have some classic shows, some live stuff. Keep it locked here. You guys have a great New Year's Eve.